Today, right, again we'll have a little bit of in-depth of knowledge regarding the CSS that we were studying. Okay. So now in this case, let me go to these code examples. Okay. CSS, yeah. I know we had a little bit of discussion in this regard. We talked about simple selectors, combination selectors, colors, backgrounds. Okay, and also we talked about borders and rounded corners, and also looked into height and width. And now the very important and the other aspects that we are going to see today, it's related to the padding and margin. Okay. So let's open Visual Studio Code. Okay. Let me close this. All right. So yesterday we looked at height, width, and all that part, right? Let me see what the output looks like. Okay, this is how the output looks like. All right. So there is, yeah. Now today we are going to talk about something called as padding. Okay. As the name suggests, padding and margin are also related to the elements where we can add these properties today, uh, already existing selectors that we have used here. In this case, H1 is the selector. Let's say I'll try to remove all this. Just I'll add border, center alignment and border. That's it. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, center alignment and the border. Maybe I can say border color. Let's say background color. Background color, let's say light blue. All right. So now this is how the output looks. By default, there is nothing else. We have just added a border with a indigo color, and then there is a background color that we have added using the background color that is light blue, and the text alignment has been put here at the center. We'll talk about these text related formattings in a while, but now just understand that text alignment is a property which will set the alignment of the text inside the uh, element into center position. Either it can be center, left, right, and all that. So now let's go ahead and talk about padding. Okay. So padding, and then we can go and provide either the pixels or the percentage. Okay. Let's say we provide 20 pixels. 20 pixel. Now what it creates, padding has created this 20 pixel of space here. Okay. So this is 20 pixel, and here, because the text is very small, right? Had it been a bigger text, let's say, I'm going to add another text H1 with a lorem text of 20 words. Okay. Now let's say, yeah, this is the text. What is it happening? Maybe text alignment. I'll make it as left. All right. So now what is happening here? This is a heading, and we have created a padding. Padding is the space that you see between the content and the border. This space that you are seeing here, right? This is called padding. Okay, and because the elements here, this all is called padding. Padding is a space between the elements content and the border. Now this padding can be set for multiple options using multiple properties. One is padding. This is like a shortcut that we have for the border, right? Border also has got border left, right, top left, and again bottom left and bottom right. In the same way, there is also properties related to padding. We'll talk about that. Let's say padding left. Okay, which means only give the padding to the left side. Okay, now what I'm seeing is only this has given a padding of 50 pixel here, but here at the top and bottom and at the right there is no padding. So it allows a selective padding depending on the property name that we are selected, padding left, or let's say padding I can say right, which is also around 50 pixel. Okay, Now, if you see, left and right have got the padding, but top and bottom does not. Again, we can go ahead and say padding. There is also a property called padding top. Padding top, let's say I want to add 100 pixel. Okay? So which is this padding, what you see here, 100 pixel. This is 50 and this is 50. And then bottom also we are going to add padding bottom as 100 pixel. Okay. So this is how the entire H1 element looks like based on the padding that we have provided. So always understand the keyword here is inside the bond. Okay, padding is always about inside the border. Okay, so it is not about outside the border, it is always inside the border, which means this is the border, and inside the element that you find, this is called padding. This is called padding. Now the shortcut that we have for padding is this one, what you see here. This is the shortcut for padding. Just use a word padding and give 20 pixel, which means it applies for left, right, top and bottom. Everywhere it will apply, let's say 50 pixel. Okay. So this is the reason that you see this 50 pixel left, top, left, bottom and right. Okay. Understood guys about padding?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let's talk about another feature called as margin. Okay. So there is also something called as margin. Now, in order to understand margin, let's say I'll try to reduce some more words here so that you can be this output. Yeah, output is like this. All right. Now, let's say this, I'll make it as 20 pixel. Now, margin. Margin, let's say I want to add 20 pixel again. So, margin is outside the border. Okay. Margin is always outside the border. Whereas if you see here, right, the space, this space that is created outside the border, okay, outside the border, this is called margin. Whereas padding is inside the border which connects the element contents. All right. Now this space at the top, this at the bottom, and this at the right side is all because of this padding, is all because of this margin. Okay, I can go ahead and say 50 pixel of 50 pixel. You can able to see the space there. This space has increased. This is called margin. Okay. Now, the only difference between is it'll both will add space, but padding adds inside the border, margin adds outside the border. That's the only difference. And even margin also has got the same thing. Margin dot, let's say margin left, top, bottom, right, all that you do with padding. Padding left, padding right, padding top, padding bottom. In the same way, margin top, margin right, all that is definitely be available, whereas margin itself is a shorthand notation which will apply for all the sides. Let's consider padding top. Let's say I want to add 100 pixel of margin top. So this is how it looks. The margin top itself has got 100 pixel, but the rest, left and right and bottom, does not have any margin. All right. This is about margin and padding. All right. Any questions, guys, in this related to the padding and margin?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So now let me jump ahead with another outline. Yeah, outline is something, guys. Outline is all about this after the boundary that you see, right? This one, this space that you create after the border is called outline. Okay. Now outline can be like we can go ahead and use like this: outline style, outline width, and outline color. In the same way, like we have border, right? Border has got border style, whether it is a dashed border or dotted border or styled border, or a solid border. In the same way, there is also something related to the outline. So what this outline does, outline is a line that is drawn around the elements which is outside the border. This is called an outline. Okay, why we need, in order to make the element stand out, like the way how this particular element looks a kind of a standout. The solid example is here, right? If you can see how this is looking, a standout, a different kind of a design that is put around the border. Okay, that is because of the outline. And another property that outline has, other than outline style, outline color, outline width, we also have what is called as outline offset. Offset is what, like for example here, if you see, now this is the border and this is the outline. If we want to give space between this, right, that is called offset. Let's take this, let's take with an example so that it will be clear for you. Let me add a boilerplate, and here I'll add one H1 with lorem text of 6 words, and then there is a paragraph that I'll add with lorem text of 100 words. Okay. Now just we'll look at the output. This is how the output looks. There is a header and there is a paragraph. Now, let me go to the VS Code and try to do a styling. Here, let's add a style tag. Inside the style tag, I'll add a H1 selector, open and curly brackets, and then I'm going to give outline. Okay, so just outline. Before that, before I go to the shorthand notation, let's go ahead with the outline style. Style is, let's say, in order to understand outline, let's add first border. Okay, that will be more clear to you. So because if we don't add border, right, it look, the outline itself will look like a border. Let's say 2 pixels. I'll add it as a solid indigo color. Okay, now let me remove the outline. All right, now what does the output look like? A simple border that is created which has a 2 pixel of width. Okay, color is indigo. That is fair enough, that is straightforward. Now let's add what is known as outline style. Let me add dashed as an outline style. Now if I go and check, if you see after the indigo, right, there is a black color. Let me try to highlight this as red so that it is more visible for you. Yeah, so if you see, the border color, I have changed it to red, whereas outline is kind of a dash that is created outside the border. That is called an outline. If I zoom it a little bit, you will be able to see this is the the dashed color that you're seeing. That is nothing but your outline. Now let's see. Okay, just a second, guys. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Now I'll add outline width now, like the way we add outline a border width. In the same way, we can also add outline width. Let's say I want to add outline width of 4 pixel. Okay, and now you see this outline has the black color one that is changed to 4 pixel in width. Okay. Now let's say outline style is done, outline width is done. Now I can also change outline color. Okay, outline color. Let's say coral I'll use. Okay, so now coral. Okay, this is outline width and color, and also the style that we have defined. Now as you can see, the outline and the border are touching each other. They are a kind of a overlapping on each other, not completely overlapping, but at least they are touching adjacent. Now I want to create a gap between them in order for the for this header to stand out. So what I can do is, for that, what we have, another property, outline offset, that was I talking about. Let's say offset, I want to add 3 pixel. So if you see this 3 pixel gap that you see between the border red and coral color of your outline, this is nothing but your offset. Okay, so understood, guys, what is outline width, outline style, outline color, and outline offset? Are you familiar with this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So now let me add a shortcut to this. Okay, there is a shortcut as well, like the way we have border as a shortcut here. In the same way, we have outline as a shortcut. outline, the shortcut. Now this can be, let's say 3 pixel. Let's say I'll add indigo as a color, and let's say the styling I can give it as dotted. If I go ahead and save it, now you can see this is happening. Now if need be, I can go ahead and give this offset as well, 3 pixel. Yeah, you can see this how the outline appears. All right, make sense? Now
Yes, sir.
let's go ahead. Yeah, good. So now let's go ahead and understand styling of the text. So this is interesting, and again, this is very often we are going to use about text. So its text is nothing but your font that you see, right? Those are the texts. All right. Let me open this and tell you there are a number of ways that you can text or decorate or style a text. Okay, like the way we did it in your html itself, right? We can also utilize html formatting, like text formatting. We saw mark as a tag which can highlight in yellow. Okay, and again there is a tag called strong tag which will make the text as bold, and also there is a tag called emphasis which will make the text formatting into italics. In the same way, along with what we see in html text formatting, we also have something related to css text formatting. Okay, now they are like color. If you want to change the color of the font, then there is text align. How do you want to align the text? And then there is a text alignment last, specifies how the alignment of the last line of the text have to be. Okay, now let's take one by one. Let's take one by one. Again, you refer to this example. Again, you will have all that is being given in these examples. Let's consider it one by one and see. We already saw text color. Okay, we already saw that. A lot of times we have done it. Let me. Let's say I'll add H1. Then I'll add a paragraph. Now let's say I want to style a paragraph. Now inside the paragraph, what I'll do, color. I want to change the color of the font. Let's say I want to make it as blue. If you see the output, this is how the text looks. What it contains, I have changed the font color of the paragraph because that is the modifier that I have selected. In the style tag, I have only selected p tag. Okay, p tag color is the property and value I have changed to blue. Next, what I'll do, I will make a text alignment. Now understand guys that we can also align the text in a specific way. Okay, like you might have seen in the Word document as well, right? You also have text alignment justified left or right and all that. In the same way, text alignment can be done like left text align, which means everything will be aligned on your left side, right side won't be aligned. Okay, then again this can be changed to right. Now the text is aligned on the right side but on the left side it is not. Okay, and then text align center, we saw that, which means everything is aligned at the center. Here there is no alignment. On the right you have don't have alignment. Every text is aligned at the center. Okay, this is called center alignment. Then there is also called as justified. Okay, justify. This means you are aligning on the left as well as on the right. This is called justified alignment. Okay, understood, guys? What is text align? Text hyphen or
Yes, sir.
dash align. Okay, good. So next we'll talk about text. Now let's say align last. What it means is you are only aligning the last line of the text. Okay, let's say I will make it as center. So what I'm trying to do here, inside the paragraph, everything by default is left aligned. So every line of the paragraph is left aligned except for the last, because text align last will only align the last line of the paragraph or the text or the element. In this case, this is the line which is aligned at the last, that is center aligned. Rest all are left aligned. Okay, that is the usage of text aligned center. Then what else we want to see? Let's go back to those. Left align. Yeah, then there is a direction. Okay, which means you can change the direction of the text. Okay, let's see that as well. Let's consider a H1 tag, which is for the paragraph direction. Let's say I want to change right to, currently we are left to right. Let's say right to left. Someone joined. Yeah, I'll save this and check the output. Yeah, if you see at the header, what I have done, guys, I have taken a header, which is a head H1 tag, and inside the H1 tag, I have used the property called direction, and that direction is from right to left. So currently, if I write skills and still learn limitless, okay, let's say this. Now this is my heading. Now I want to make it as a right to left. If I go, if you see what is happening here, it has changed the direction from here to here, from here to here. This is where it gets started. And then maybe what I can do, let's say LTR. This is fine. It is always starting from here. That doesn't have to change anything. And then what else we have? Unicode BDI, which obviously this is also text related change, but Unicode we are not trying to use currently. But what we can do is see the vertical alignment. Okay, so vertical alignment is again aligning the text vertically. How do you want to align the text vertically? Okay, so here, if I go, uh, let's say I'll take this vertical align. Let's say I want to align it to text bottom. If you see, let's say 1 second. Let me add one span here. Then you will be able to make the difference. Span tag. Then I'll add, and this tag I'm going to use it for span. Okay. Yeah. Now, this paragraph, what it contains, this paragraph contains a nested span tag, which contains this 1, 2, 3 words. Okay. For these span tag, I'm making the vertical alignment as text bottom. Okay. Now, if you see, there is a slight difference you should be able to note, but not much. Okay. And then there is also, I can modify, then I can modify super as well. Yeah, if you see a little bit of change, but I don't know how you might be able to see it or not. Can you see this? Only the span tag has act as a superscript. Can you see this, guys? Alignment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the same way, super, I can go ahead and make sub, that is also there, which will make alignment a little bit down. Okay, compared to this, the first line, if you see, these span tag Only these three words are little bit down. This is because I have added the vertical alignment of superscript, subscript and superscript. Because I have added a span tag. Had I used it for p tag, every line would have been down, so I couldn't have been able to show the distinct difference there. But this will help you to show how this alignment can work. Okay, and then there is text decoration. Okay, so now text decoration is, again, text decoration has got in the same way like we have border, right? There is a shorthand notation for that. Here also we have a shorthand notation for text decoration, which is just text decoration. And this text decoration has got text decoration line, okay, and is used to add a decoration line to the text. And again, text decoration color, so is set color to the decoration line. And then text decoration style, what kind of a decoration line that should be, whether it's a dotted, dashed, or what. And then the thickness or the width of that line can be given. And then the shorthand is this one, decoration line. And then you can say decoration color, style, and thickness. Okay, all these forms the text decoration. Let's go ahead and say I want to add text decoration only to span, and let's see. So for the span selector, I'm going to use text decoration line. So what is this line? Whether it is an underline I want to use or overline. Let's say we want to use an underline. So what it means is, if I go ahead and check the output, this will underline the text. It is as if you are using a HTML tag U. Okay, U is for underline, right? In the same way, this can also be achieved through CSS using text decoration line is equal to underline. Now, the next what I can do, the text decoration color. So I can change this color to, let's say, red. Okay. Now that decoration line itself will change it to red color. And then there is also text decoration of what is that type. Let's say type is it text decoration style. Yeah, text decoration style is basically how do I want to use a decoration line, whether it's a dash, dotted, or what. Let's say let's use double, so which means it will use double lines. Okay, so this is a text decoration style. And again, we can also go ahead and use the text de- decoration thickness. Let's say I want to use the thickness of, let's say, 5 pixel. It's huge though, but let's see for our understanding. So if you see, each line is 5 pixel in thickness. Okay, I'll reduce this to maybe 3. Yeah, if you see, this is 3 pixel in thickness each line. So that is about text decoration. And again, I can go ahead and say very short form as well. Let's say text deco decoration. Okay, text decoration, what I can do, I can add what kind of a style it is. Let's say I want to add this as a dotted, and then how much what is the color I can give. Let's say I want to give it as yellow. Oh, sorry, here I'm typing it yellow. And yeah, I mean, if you want how it want to be underlined, let's say. And I can go ahead and comment this, because this is a shorthand notation. Instead of writing these 3 line codes, I can just put down in one shorthand notation, which means text decoration, which is underlined, it should be in dotted, and also the color should be changed to yellow. I can go ahead and do that. If you see, that is what is happening here. Sorry guys. So this is changed to yellow, the dotted, and then the style is given to a dotted. All right, so the dotted, and then you have the decoration line is kind of a underline. So this is, any questions guys here, text decoration line?
No, sir.
Good. So now, yeah, what else we have? We also have got text transform. So transform is to specify whether it is a lowercase or uppercase. Again, this can also be done. Let me show you this as well. Text transform, let's say, convert it into uppercase, which means all the words, right, that are there in this will be changed to uppercase. Why? Because I am only modifying the span selector. Span is the selector which contains only three words, and these three words I have changed the text transform to uppercase. That is the reason you can see these three words are written in uppercase. And again, I can go ahead and give lowercase. I can also give another called as capitalized. Capitalized means which can also only have the first letter as capital. Like this word only C is capital. In this word only A is capital, and in this word only I is capital. Yeah, E is capital. Sorry. So out of these three words, capitalized means only the first letter or the alphabet of those words selected will be in capital letters. Okay, that's about text transform and text indentation. So again, used to specify the indentation of the first line of the text. How do you want the indentation to be? Indentation is a space, right, that we give. Let's say I want to give indentation here. Color, let the color be p selector. Indent, maybe let's say I want to give 50 pixel. What will happen, guys? This indentation space, this indentation, what you see means the space that you see, instead of starting from this line, the sentence is of this paragraph is starting at the very first. It is only impact the very first line of a whatever the selector that we have taken. In this, we have taken a p selector, which is a paragraph selector. For this paragraph, the very first line, it will add the indentation as if like it is beginning a new paragraph, right? That is why you add this text indentation. Maybe I can go ahead and say 100 pixel. It will go ahead that many pixels from the left to right. This is 100 pixel. Okay, this is text indent property. And letter spacing, yeah, I mean, this is again one interesting thing. What it does is, let's say text indentation is fine. Letter spacing is, it will add a space between each letters. Like for example, if I add 2 pixel, so every letter what you see will have a 2 pixel of space between them. Here after O and R there is 2 pixel, R and E there is 2 pixel. So for every letter there is a spacing of 2 pixel that I have added. That is because of letter spacing. Again, I can go ahead and increase to 5 pixel. Again, it will look a little bit wider. Each word, each letter has got 5 pixel spacing in between them. Okay, understood, guys, what is letter spacing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then there is height, yeah, line height. Line height is a vertical spacing. Now we saw horizontal spacing, right? Horizontal spacing, let me go to the output to show you. The horizontal spacing is between the lines, between the letters, whereas line spacing is between verticals, between the lines. And let me, line height. Line height, let's say 5 pixel. So here, if you see 5 pixel is where too much, so they are overlapping on each other. Now let's say if I add 20 pixel, and if you see this spacing between each two lines, so the space between this, and this, what you see, that is because of line height. I can go ahead and make 100 pixels so that it will be legible to you. See, if this is the line spacing between the lines, okay, this is line spacing. So I can go ahead and add as much as line spacing as I want. That is depending on this property called line height. All right, makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now, what else we have? Yeah, word spacing is there that can make each word separate it out. And white spacing is like specifies how white space inside to be handled. Okay, now this I'll show you. Let's go here. Let me remove this text indentation and everything. Let's space word spacing. Okay, word spacing I want to give maybe 20 pixels or 30 pixels just to show you. So each word, after each word, this is one word, there is a space here. This is because of word spacing, word spacing. Okay. These are all what I'm trying to show you guys. This is all about text formatting. Okay. Everything, whatever the content or the text that you see on the web page, that text we are formatting using these CSS properties. Okay. And what else we can go, yeah, we can also talk about white spacing. Then there is also text shadow. Text shadow is kind of a blur shadow that creates behind it. We'll show that. Word spacing is then white spacing, yeah, again, let's say. Now how do you want to handle white space? Let's say wrap or no wrap. Let's suppose break spaces if you want to do, or let's say no wrap. So when we do no wrap, right, guys, what will happen? The entire paragraph will be in one line. So you need to traverse back with your scroll bar all the way, like the way you see that word wrap and all in MS Word as well. You see that property, wrap and no wrap. So this is now what we have given is no wrap. That is the reason the paragraph is not wrapping. It is going and appearing in all together one single line. That is because of white spacing. And then we can also say what you can also say wrap and normal. Normal is what we see here now. Okay, and that shouldn't be any problem. Now again, there is a break spacing. I mean, that is fine. I mean, wherever there is need be, it will arrange accordingly. If I show you, adjust and show you, yeah, that will adjust accordingly. Okay, if I increase or decrease the space size of the viewport. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that is all about, yeah, text shadow also we want to see. Let's show the text shadow. Text shadow, maybe I'll see only for the text transform. Let's see. Span text shadow. Yeah. Text hyphen text hyphen sh shadow. So how do you want text shadow? Let's say 10 pixel. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we can add the different colors though. Right? Uh, Zero cap, two cap, or let's say little bit. I mean, not that you can see, but if you see here, we have added much of the difference. A lot of text spacing here. That is because of the shadow that we have added. Lot of, I mean, you can add whatever the color it might be, whatever the pixel you want to add, and then go ahead and increase it or decrease it depending on multiple combinations. Okay, make sense?
Yes, sir.
And what else we have? Yeah, fonts. Yeah, fonts is important, guys. Fonts again, why we need to concentrate on fonts is there are a couple of things. Why are fonts needed? Like if you see the very, if I go to the browser, right, and I see the settings. Where is that settings? Yeah, settings. And if you see the appearance, right, here we have, I can go ahead and set whatever the defaults that I can have. Okay, now customize fonts. If I go here, I can go ahead and modify the fonts by default, right? Standard font times Roman is set. If I go ahead and change this font, and that is the font that I am going to see on my browser by default. Now currently the default setting is Times New Roman, and it is set to 16 pixel in size, which is tiny. All right, so that you can set it for a browser, and that is one way to handle the output on your browser, how it looks. It varies from browser to browser and its settings. If you change the settings in your browser, it might change the look and feel of the fonts. But at the same time, what is the catch here I'm trying to say? Which means you can customize the fonts depending on what your website or the web page that you're trying to create. Okay, you can go ahead and modify that depending on the font size and font family. Sorry. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and see what is that we have in fonts. Now the fonts has got multiple things. One is a font family. Okay, like Times New Roman is a font family. Helvetica is a Times is also a font family. Roboto is a font family. So all these are font families. Okay, there is a font file that need to be created, and by default Google also provides a lot of fonts that we can readily available through its CDN. Okay, this is the fonts.googleapis.com. This is the site. If you go, you can able to find a lot of fonts that can be used for your usage in the in your websites. Okay, now one is about font family. How we can change the font family using the property called font family. Then there is font size. You can set depending on whether it is 10 pixel, 20 pixel, 30 pixel, or 32, that you can modify using font size. And then there is a line height, like we already seen it, the distance between each two lines, that is the line height. And then there is font style. How do you want your fonts to be styled, whether it is italics or whether you want to make that appear a bold, all that can be done using font style. Then there is font variant. Okay, now font variant specifies whether or not the text should be displayed in small caps or not. Okay, that is about font variant. And then there is font weight. Font weight is all about thickness. It's about how bold the the font should look like. And then there is a short form or the shorthand notation. Just use font and provide these. Font size is mandatory, and then font family is mandatory. Rest all are optional. You can go ahead and use. Let's go ahead and try to see some of them here. Let's say now, let's say I want to add one here, then paragraph. Okay, now inside this I want to add style, which will take a p selector, which is paragraph selected. Now I'm going to use what is called as font family. Now before I go to font family, right, let me go ahead and show you one interesting thing. Just to show you the output, I'll go ahead and see the output. This is how the output looks now. Okay, simple one single header, and then there is a paragraph. Now suppose I want to inspect. If I go ahead and inspect, okay, so inspect is how I am going to do inspect. Right click and do inspect, or you can go ahead with the control on your browser controls, and then go to more tools. Okay, and then open the developer tools. Once you open the developer tools, there is one arrow pointing here. You can take that, and that selection will be inspect. So I can go, once I select that, and I can hover over the mouse to a particular element. Now suppose I went here. Now what you see here, if I slowly increase that, yeah, if I go here, yeah, what it is showing me, what it is showing me is the body element. If you can see this, where my pointer is, guys, just see this, observe this, what is happening here. The body of the text, or the body of the text is having the color black, which is hash 000 is black. Then the font, right, 16 pixel and the Times New Roman. Where is this Times New Roman coming from? Can anyone tell me?
Font family, sir.
Yeah, font family, that's correct. But where is that setting done?
Browser.
Yeah, that is what I wanted, because just now I showed you, right? Because the browser settings we have selected by default, it is Times New Roman. Because our source code does not have anything set here in relation to font. Okay, it is nothing still. It is just a heading and the paragraph, but it has already default is taken here as 16 pixel, and then as the font size, and then there is a Times New Roman as a font family that is being selected. That is because of the browser settings. Browser has got that default value. Now, with that being said, we want to change this Times New Roman to another family of fonts. That we can do it using what is known as font family. Now, whenever you give a font family, right, always give minimum of three. Okay, separated by comma. Why we need to give? Because those are the fallback fonts. Why we are saying fallback fonts? Because this web page that you are creating .html file can be accessed in different browsers. Some can use a browser, Google Chrome, some might use Mozilla, some might use Brave, some might use Safari, or any other new browsers that are available. People can go ahead and use them, but not every font is available on every browser. So at that time, if you don't give a backup font, then it might result in some erroneous information being shown on your browser, on your website. That is the reason what you give, usually you give is a kind of a fallback fonts. This is the first font. If this works, then fine. If it doesn't work, take next one, which is Helvetica. If this also doesn't work, then take sans serif. And at the last, whatever the fonts that are given, right, those are available almost in every browser. Okay, that is the way you need to give the font family. Always give minimum of three fonts, and each fonts are separated by comma. And if a font has containing more than two words, then you need to put that into curly brackets, like the way here. Now, Courier New is a two-word font, so you need to put that into a single quote or double quote. Both are fine. Now, in this case, we have added single quotes, okay, which means one font, two font, and three fonts. Understood, guys? This one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now let's go ahead and let me add Arial. So now if I go ahead and check the output, now it is changed the font family for me for the paragraph. Still, heading one is still Times New Roman. Only the paragraph has been changed because of the CSS. Let's see what this family is now. Which one has it picked? Now, if I put here inspect and add, yeah, it has taken your Arial only. There is no change here. Okay, had it been anything, because Arial, Helvetica, sans serif, so Arial is available. The very first one it has picked. Okay, and Arial is the font, and here, if you observe the very first one, yeah, this has changed. Okay, this is still the same, which is Times New Roman. Times New Roman is the same. All right. So now that's about font family. The next one, what we can go ahead and see is the font size. You can change the size of the font. Let's say font size. Let's say I want to make it 30 pixel. Now, if you see, the font size of the paragraph has increased to 30 pixel. Okay. Then what else I can do? Font color I can change, which can be done by just color. Then there is font weight. Font weight is adding the thickness. Let's say I want to add, it's a number like 100, 200, 300 all the way. Let's say I want to add like 600. So if you see 600, the thickness of the font is changed. It has become more bold. That is because of the font weight. All right. And what else we have? Then there is a font, this one, variant. Okay, font variant, whether we want it in all small caps or normal. If we put in small caps, right, everything will be in small caps. Let's go ahead and see. Where is it? I'll save it. So now what I have done, show me that, what I have added. Yeah, font variant, small caps. And again, what it will do, it will remove everything into a smaller text, but it is in capital letters. Like for example, if I want to add three words here, let's say this one, I'll add a span just to show the difference. Okay, nothing else. Span, and then I'll add the font variant here. So what I have done, only taken this span tag, which has containing four words. I have made the font variant as small but in caps. So if you see, this is the text that is available, but only the four words, one, two, three, and four words are in capitals. That is because of caps, small caps. Okay, makes sense, guys? For font
Yes.
variant.
Yes, sir.
And then what else we have? Font, again, font style also is there, whether how do you want to make it, italics, making it as in italics, or maybe in oblique. I don't know oblique works or not. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, little bit same as italics, no change. Yeah, that is about font style. Then what else we can add? Font style, font height, line height we saw, between the lines, style, and then variant we saw, font weight we saw, and then finally there is font. We can just give font. The mandatory things is font size and family. These are the two mandatory things. Okay, what you need to give is, like, instead of giving all these three, all these, I can go ahead and say font. Then the very first I can give is Arial. Okay, then once first very first thing is font size. Okay, size is like 25 pixel. And then there is Arial, that what I want to add. And then rest of whatever you want to add, I mean, anything, font style, variant, or weight, anything you can go ahead and add there. That is fine, but these two are mandatory ones. Okay, so now you are able to see only Arial and 25 pixel. This small caps is because of the this font variant span that I have added. If I remove this, it won't be. Okay, just 25 pixel and Arial, and I can change it to Helvetica as well. If I change it to Helvetica, slight change, nothing much. Okay. All right, guys. I think we have covered margins, paddings, outline, styling text, styling fonts. Then there is styling links we can see. And then we want to have a session tomorrow as well, guys. Let's wrap it up, CSS by this week. Tomorrow also we'll have it, because next week, right, I want to go ahead deep dive into JavaScript. So let's wrap it up tomorrow. Please be there tomorrow at 8 p.m. And important concepts that I'm going to take tomorrow is about, these are very important concepts. One is related to grids, another is related to Flexbox. Rest all, I would appreciate you guys to go ahead and see that. And for Lavanya and Vittal, again, I'm going to go deep into for another sessions for you for CSS. But for rest of the guys, right? Again, Flexbox and Grid is what I'm going to take tomorrow. So make your presence available at 8 p.m. Yeah. All right. Thanks, and see you tomorrow at the same time at 8 p.m.